All right, viewers, more news coming in. The news that we're breaking right now. Controversy has emerged over comic Kunal Kamra's meme on Prime Minister Modi. Kunal Kamra, a stand-up comedian, has put out a video of a boy who sang patriotic songs to Prime Minister Modi. The boy's father has lashed out at Kunal Kamra. The boy's father tweets to Kamra saying, "He is my 7-year-old son who wanted to sing the song for his motherland." Though he is still very young, but certainly he loves his country more than you, Mr. Kamra or Kachra. Whatever you are, keep the poor boy out of your filthy politics and try to work on your poor jokes. All right, so this has been followed by Kunal Kamra, who used a video of a young boy who was singing to the Prime Minister as a meme. The father now reacting and taking on Mr. Kamra, saying, "Keep my child out of your dirty politics." I want to connect right now Shiv Arur, who's joining us from the studio. Shiv, the fact is also that this was an underage child. So, for a parent, I would reckon the aggression is warranted.
A very angry father lashing out at Kunal Kamra, who posted this internet meme style video where they've overlaid the sound. Remember, Preeti, that video had gone viral when Prime Minister Modi was in Berlin. This young kid, this 7-year-old boy, was one of the many children that the Prime Minister had interacted with. This particular video had gone viral because this little boy had actually sung a song with Prime Minister Modi, and it became a kind of Kodak moment. That video has been taken by Kunal Kamra or those he supports. They've overlaid it with the the other viral Mehengai song, and it's been put out as a kind of an internet meme to question the government and make fun of the government. But the problem is the kid in the video. The father of that kid has watched this video and he's come out very angrily. His rage is totally justified. He's lashed out at Kunal Kamra, called him Kachra, called him, a person who's used a young kid to play his filthy politics. So a really angry father coming out, and like you rightly said, Preeti, a parent's rage and anger here is totally understandable, because he's basically said, don't use my child to play your filthy politics. You keep it to yourself. So Kunal Kamra coming under huge attack from the father of that young boy. Shehzad Poonawalla, in fact, of the BJP, is with us live for a quick reaction. We're going to get more reactions. Shehzad, this story just breaking here on India Today. Father of that young boy who sang a song with Prime Minister Modi in Berlin going viral, lashing out now at Kunal Kamra for using that video for something else entirely on the internet. What do you think, Shehzad?
Look, everybody appreciates that one wants to criticize the Prime Minister, one wants to criticize his government, but I think that the desperation and frustration of some people who masquerade as stand-up comedians and artists, given their own political links and leanings, shouldn't reach the extent that you use a 7-year-old child in order to score your political petty fight with a government that you can't stand. And I therefore think that to use this kind of excuse that this was all a joke or this was our art, and to drag in a 7-year-old, I wish the 7-year-old didn't have to go through this. And rightly so, if his parents have felt hurt about this or have felt angry about this, they have every right to take it up with this alleged comedian and to set the record straight. But having said that, I wish that Mr. Kamra, I don't know what he does for a living. Perhaps he is a Congress-sponsored comedian. He should apologize to the father and the family for hurting the child, for using the child in that way. And I think that issue would be left then.
Shehzad and Preeti, stay with me. I just want to read out what the father has said, because these are very, very strong words by an extremely angry father. The father who identifies himself as Ganesh will be on India Today very shortly. He's tweeted to Kunal Kamra saying, "He is my 7-year-old son who wanted to sing this song for his beloved motherland. Though he is still very young, but certainly he loves his country more than you, Mr. Kamra or Kachra, whatever you are. Keep the poor boy out of your filthy politics and try to work on your poor jokes." So obviously, this is a father who's feeling a lot of rage, seeing his son being used to settle some political scores or, to criticize the government, which, Shehzad, you rightly said, is justified. Criticism of the government is totally justified. But the father's anger here is also understandable.
Shiv, there's an ecosystem of people who can't stand the fact that Narendra Modi is the Prime Minister because of his humble background. And I understand that. That ecosystem has every right to express their anger, frustration, desire that the Prime Minister should be changed. Yesterday we saw the Bihar Congress use a Photoshop picture of the German Chancellor and the Prime Minister with a Nehru photograph in the middle of it where that wasn't the picture. Now you have another member of the ecosystem using a 7-year-old child audio imposing another audio on his on the patriotic song. So this kind of fakery to drive home a narrative against the Prime Minister or against a party you don't like, using such fake videos, fake audios, I think the opposition and this ecosystem can do better. And to use a 7-year-old child for politics is really low. So I hope that this so-called comedian, whatever he is, and frankly, the Congress party itself has been reduced to a joke. So I don't know why they need to hire comedians like this. But they should come out and apologize to the family. And I am sure the family will be gracious enough to accept that apology from Mr. Kamra.
Well, Shehzad, you're completely right. The anger of this father completely justified. To use an underage child for your own political ideology is wrong, but the ecosystem exists in both ways. Shehzad, as we speak, there are many people from the right-wing ecosystem continuing to peddle the fact that Rahul Gandhi was with the Chinese envoy, while India Today itself has conducted a fact check stating that he wasn't, that he was with the friends, the friend of the bride. So, it goes both ways, and one does need to understand that.
Preeti, I don't think you can draw the two parallels. One is Revanth Reddy, the Congress leader of Telangana and MP, saying that he was with a Chinese diplomat. And another is a 7-year-old child being used by the Congress.
No, Shehzad, it's also a multitude of right-wing people, we just spoke with you a short while back. I'm just saying that India Today has conducted a fact check. So there is a lot of information right now on the internet that is being exploited by both sides of the divide. But yes, in this particular case, a father's anger is completely justified that a young child who's underage, there's no business that he uses his face to push forth a particular political ideology.
Want me to speak? You should not become such a sorry apologist of an ecosystem. There might be something
There is no apologist. Shehzad, there is no apologist for an ecosystem.
With due respect.
No. With due respect. With due respect. With due respect, sir. Nobody is drawing parallels. Nobody. There is an ecosystem you quoted. I am quoting that ecosystem as well.
Preeti, I do not understand why you are fighting with me.
I am not. Mr. Poonawalla, I am not fighting with you. You called me an apologist, I'm not. I'm stating facts.
You're behaving like one.
No, I am stating facts, sir. Sir, facts hurt. The fact is, facts hurt. Please complete.
Are you democratic enough to let me complete for 20 seconds?
Of course, sir.
Thank you. Now let me complete for 20 seconds and don't interrupt me. If somebody else does something wrong, which is wrong in the right-wing ecosystem, as you allege, that can't be a justification for a 7-year-old boy being harassed by Mr. Kamra.
Where is it a justification?
Don't equations.
Sir, where is the justification?
Please condemn it outright.
Where? Didn't I just condemn it? 1 second, sir. No. 1 second, sir. No. That's the problem. 1 second, sir. I condemn it. I condemn it. Okay. Shehzad Poonawalla, I condemn it. Shehzad Poonawalla, I condemn it. It's completely wrong to use an underage child for your ecosystem. Do you condemn the fact that there are a lot of people? There are no comparisons, but that is also wrong.
Exactly. Then why
there is no justification, but that is also wrong. Do you condemn it? You won't. You won't, because ecosystems are at play.
Anything is wrong in asking questions of Rahul Gandhi whether he was with the Chinese ambassador.
But he wasn't. It's a fact check. He wasn't.
Madam, then you go show that fact check to Revanth Reddy. Don't tell us. And we are not using a 7-year-old. And please don't draw these two parallels. Revanth Reddy is not a 7-year-old.
All right. There's no point. There's no point getting into this. We are going to just move on. Appreciate you joining us. Shehzad Poonawalla, appreciate you joining us. Appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
We're trying to get Kunal Kamra on the phone line as well to see if he has anything more to say. The father of the young boy has also been contacted. We're going to try and get a word in from him as well. But the war between ecosystems is one that's going to intensify and rage at this point of time. We're going to get more reactions. We're going to try and get more reactions from both sides of the political divide at this point. You've heard from Shehzad Poonawalla, the father of this young boy, who really is the person who's expressed all this anger, is also going to be with us in just a moment, Preeti. Anila Singh of the BJP is also with us live on this. Anila Singh, the story breaking here. on India Today of one of those big viral moments that came in from Berlin, of that young boy, who sang with Prime Minister Modi, who went completely viral, became a part of an internet attack by by Kunal Kamra, who's one of India's best known comedians. The father of that young boy has now attacked Kunal Kamra and said, "How dare you use my child for your petty politics?" What do you think? Your reactions? And I'm going to get reactions from all sides now.
My ram to everyone. And how a person can be a comedian. How, what type of humor or sense of humor he has. I don't think so. He's some sort of psycho. A person who can make fun of a child, a small child, a person who doesn't have a bit of nationalism in him. So I do not think that that person is somebody who can entertain anybody. If he cannot understand the psyche of a small child, then definitely he is some psycho. And I think whole of the world must be mocking on him. The way he has behaved, the way he has created a meme, the way he has taunted a small child. And that too, he's singing a national song. So definitely, I really pity the mindset of such people.
Anila Singh, the fact right now is a lot of attacks have come in about the manner in which the Prime Minister, interacts with diaspora during these foreign trips. Do you think this is part of that?
See, the people like Kunal Kamra and others, they are simply, they are frustrated a lot. And when they see that whenever Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji might go abroad, the type of respect and support he gets, I think they get more frustrated. And out of frustration, they do not understand that they do not have to attack a small baby. He's a 7-year-old baby. So this shows the psyche of these people, and if they behave in such manner, this shows that how successful our Prime Minister is. So we are not going to get affected, but the child is going to be affected, the way he has behaved. He should be sorry about it.
No, because Kunal Kamra has also tweeted in reaction to what the father Ganesh has said. The father Ganesh has already said, "This is my 7-year-old son. He's certainly young, but he loves his country more than you, Mr. Kamra, Kachra, whatever you are. Keep the poor boy out of your filthy politics and try to work on your poor jokes." But Kunal Kamra has also tweeted in reply to the father, and he's sort of tried to defend himself on that front as well, but not really answered that. There's not been an apology. I don't think there will be an apology because Kunal Kamra is a comedian and he probably meant it as a joke, but I'm wondering where this is actually going to go right now. Kunal Kamra is a very, very popular comedian. He commands a following of over 2 million followers on Twitter, where he's put this video out. But has he, in many ways really riled up the parent of that young boy who was part of it? There is a sense now that he's gone too far. So we'll have to see what reactions come in. We are here on India Today. We've broken the story. The father has slammed that comedian. We'll have to see if Kunal Kamra is able to defend what he did, or will he come out and actually apologize for something that the father thinks is inappropriate. Preeti, back to you.